Damn, son, where'd you find this?
People don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who act like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they never lie.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
Mantra, slave songs, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide isn't front on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging the generations remember our story.
Yo. Good morning. What's the word? How everybody feeling? I figured I'd stay on this side for the day. Let's just swap the angles out for a second. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Monday. I hope all is well with everybody. Thank you for being here this morning. Coach, how you feeling, man? What's the word?
Yo, what's up, man? Feeling fine, doing great.
You inspired,
huh? Go ahead.
You inspired this one today, actually.
Oh, okay. What you got?
I just wanted to put that one out there. I don't know if you got it. I sent it to you on TikTok, but the Neuro Link,
yeah,
Elon Musk thing, yeah, man. You said it the other day. It's here, and we never really got into it too much, so I just kind of wanted to talk about that because I don't really think people care too much, or they don't really see the severity or the importance in it. So I got a clip I want to play, and I just want to pick your brain a little bit on this one. Cool?
Okay, let's do
it. Elon Musk says brain chips are going mainstream in 2026. Yes, actual chips implanted in human brains. Musk just announced that Neuralink plans to begin high-volume production of its brain-computer interface this year, using what he calls an almost entirely automated brain surgery. Automated brain surgery. This device is a coin-sized chip implanted under your skull, with over 1,000 electrodes reading your brain signals and sending them straight to a computer. Right now, it's marketed for people with paralysis, and some patients can already browse the internet, play video games, post online, and control devices using only their thoughts. That part sounds incredible, but here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Neuralink's first attempt at human trials was rejected by the FDA over safety concerns. They only got approval after making changes. And even then, early implants had problems with electrodes pulling out of brain tissue. Musk says they've fixed that now. And his long-term goal? He says the point is to create a symbiosis between humans and AI and to give people superpowers. So let's be clear, this is about putting hardware in human brains at scale with automation, mass production, and one of the most powerful tech billionaires on Earth steering the future. Elon Musk.
Sounds good in theory. Hey, you paralyzed, you can't walk. You stuck to a wheelchair. You limited to your daily. You can't do what you used to do. Maybe you were born that way. Maybe you just found yourself in an unfortunate accident, and now you stuck here, and you want to still be able to feel like a human and not a vegetable. Yeah, it sounds cool, like a dream. Happy MLK Day too, by the way. I'm glad you brought that up. But there's a lot of other things that come with this too, and he touched on some of it. I wanted to get your thoughts on the clip, on the Neuralink topic itself. It's not the first time this has been a discussion. Many people have spoken on it before, maybe not to the same capacity. Yeah,
Man, it depends on how you look at it, because this could be perceived as modern day miracles. So it's all about perspective.
so what do you say to someone he sees a millionaire, billionaire, and they're playing, what's this word? They're playing this omnipresent character. I have all this money. I can touch spaces that some people can't. I have the power to actually influence other people to invest in this system that would actually change lives. Like, it's really possible for you to still have some resemblance of a regular living arrangement without having to leave your house. Are we are we are we wrong for having a variety of opinions on this? Is what I'm asking.
I
Salute to
mean,
2129.
what do you mean? Are you wrong? Everybody got an opinion.
So one side says this is the mark of the beast. The other side doesn't believe in it. So it's like, all right, this is just us advancing in technology. We're just evolving.
Hey man, both things can be true. It just depends on, I guess, what it's boiling down to in these days is what you actually believe in, and then whatever it is that you say you believe in, are you going to hold true to those things? Because I mean, it is evolving, regardless of how you want to look at it. It's advancing. You're taking technology and you're merging it with humans. Creating cyborgs. That's evolution. I mean, that's the definition of the word. So you can't say that you aren't evolving. And then I don't know what other sides you're saying. You're saying they're saying what? What exactly is the conversation?
It's the mark of the beast. This is Satan's way of basically saying it's time for you to pick a side. Are you walking with God, or are you walking with me? Because the internet, social media is the gateway to connecting where he can't really do it the way that God does it. God is everywhere. He does not require technology to connect with you. He knows your thoughts. He knows your heart. He doesn't have to click a button and turn on Facebook in order to know what's going on with you. Versus Satan can use technology and portray himself as he's a deity and he's someone who can give you the things that you desire in your heart. And so most people have relied on technology and on money and physical sustenance to give them this self sense of, well, this is actually my idol. This is the things that I worship. I don't need to be concerned about an invisible person to dictate my love life or my success in this world or how much money I can bring in or if my arms and limbs are healed, because Elon Musk and people like him, they built robots and machines and have created medicines that pretty much do everything that your mythological book says.
Okay, I don't see the question in there, man. Yeah, people say that stuff, and you're talking about limbs, and so I'll start there. Are you saying that because you lose a limb, that you should be okay with not having that limb, versus technology or science creating things to give you an artificial limb so that way you can make you feel back at peace or whole with yourself? You can start at that one particular point because you kind of threw a lot of stuff out there. So, because you said abnormalities, so that way, if you wanting to feel abnormal or like a human again, so you're saying that I guess there's issues with people that want to feel like that.
No issues at all.
Okay.
The thing that I'm trying to convey is we have relied on technology and the things on this planet so much that we don't believe in God. And so
I don't. What you say that, man? That's again, you make such broad statements, man. I don't think people. You say we, so be more specific, because technology is something that's always been around. Some technology is something that's always been needed. Technology seems to be only looked at in the scope or the lens of just the internet right now. So technology has always been around. You know what I mean? So let's, I guess, hone in or kind of zero in more specifically on something. So
I'm not, when I say we, I know I'm not talking about, when I say we, y'all should know I'm not talking about every single body on the planet. I'm talking about specific people who rely on the government, who rely on humans, who rely on cars, who rely on the plumbers, and they rely on every single thing that is not naturally or organically created to be their God. You have a problem with your finances, you go to a loan office, you go to a bank and try to see if they can help you out with your housing. You don't know how to love somebody. You spend your life chasing after people based on superficial ideologies. You put men and women at the front of the line when it comes to how you're supposed to be as a person. You don't know how to walk by yourself. Everything is like a crutch to you. You lose it when you don't have your cigarettes. You lose it when you don't have your cell phone. I'm more or less referring to this concept that you have Jesus Christ and God who provides something that is permanent and doesn't come with this right here. It's more internal. Then you have somebody that portrays himself to be God who gives you a replication of the same things that we utilize on a regular basis. So it looks like what you're really worshiping is one person, but you're really worshiping another person. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about everybody collectively. I'm talking about specific people. Elon Musk, to me, is trying to play something that he is not. And it's a dangerous game. And while I'm all for getting people back on their feet, like if you lose an arm or a leg and you know how to build them like prosthetic pieces and you can get them back walking again. It might not be their physical leg, but you can get them in mobility. I'm all for that. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with you telling me that you want to put something inside of my brain that essentially is going to allow you to monitor me everywhere I go, from the minute I get up to the second I go to sleep. Even in my dreams, you can just pretty much watch me. Yeah, I have an issue with that.
Okay, so what's the solution for it? If you got an issue for it, you don't want to do it. You see that? I guess that's the way that the world is kind of curving and kind of growing itself towards. Not necessarily right now, maybe in the future. Yeah, like we were talking about it not too long ago. If you travel this year and you don't have the real ID, they're going to start implementing a $45 fee. As far as for making it inconvenience when you travel. And then I guess with the Neuro Link, it's supposed to provide a quality of life based. Right now, it's based on voluntary roles, people who have a need, and then I guess once the likeness grows, just like everything else, people will gravitate towards it. Once people gravitate towards it, then they'll roll out probably a plan, a regular plan, a silver plan, platinum plan, and then you can have a better experiences and quality of life. Is that what you kind of alluding to? The quality of life would be based off Neuralink, and then if you don't have Neuralink, you kind of getting left behind, more or less.
That's how they're painting it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, so what's the $1 million question is, what do you do if you don't get it? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to suffer? Your quality of life, your standards. I mean, because look at right now with the social credit score potentially being on the rise. That's going to be based on your online credibility, your online, exchanges, basically seeing what type of person and human you are, because they're looking at also phasing away cash and currency. So, I mean, what's the alternative?
Alternative, get you a bank. Well, not a bank. And I was told this years ago, before it even got to this point, to start to get your money out your bank, start putting it in a actual safe.
Yeah, but if the money has no value, what you gonna do with it? I mean, that's the issue they're having right now. If you look in Europe with the BRICS systems and all the other things that they're going on, the war already started, man. They're just trying to figure out, currency wise, who's going to be leading and what's the way forward in the future for that. So yeah, putting money in a bank and a safe and all that stuff, it don't matter if the rest of the world ain't messing with it.
If I'm not mistaken, gold is becoming more and more prevalent.
That right? And silver. Yeah, that and silver.
Yeah.
You go to Costco and get you some silver.
Yeah, I would definitely look into that. Why you can, at least. I wouldn't really put it all. That and the food, the quality of food, you might want to start stocking up. I don't know if you believe in what they're saying, because I didn't seen too many stories about them doing things to the food. It's not what y'all think it is that you're eating. There's a lot of human DNA and a lot of it allegedly. I had to put that out there, but like there's a lot of wild shit going on, bro. And
well, I mean, it's a lot of. It was a chicken wing shortage a few years ago. The Wingstop still had chicken wings. All the stuff they say that as far as for all the cows, but all these burger places around here, ain't that many cows on the planet. Yeah, when you go to other countries, you can see the differences. So you look at the chicken, they don't have the GMOs in it. Then you look at some of these pieces of meat in the grocery stores, they inflated with the allegedly the type of fluids that they inject into them to make them a little bit bigger. larger on scale. And you can look at the stuff when you cook it in your pan. It don't even cook like meat used to. Even the ground beef is kind of, they're saying it's 3D printed. It's not necessarily meat. But, you know, who knows, man? They've probably been doing that stuff for as long as you remember. Now the internet's out there, so now all the stories and the rumors are spreading like wildfire. So it's been that way probably more than likely. It's not something that's just happening.
I want to do a little more research on this whole Neuro Link situation. I'm trying to change my diet up. What would you suggest?
Mental diet?
I still eat too much junk food, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't do the fast food stuff no more though. But I do fry a lot, you know, and I know that ain't good either, but just to answer your question, or at least try to give a little bit of an answer to it, I need to do some more research before I can actually tell you. All right, well, I know for sure you're not about to put no chip in my brain. You're not about to put no chip in my hand or none of that. But I need to know how I can do it without sounding dumb, right? I need to make sure I got my information in order, because either way, they trying to make it seem like you're going to get left behind if you don't do it.
Well, I mean, predictive programming. Look at the movies that's out there. Ready Player One. There's a couple of other TV shows that was on Prime Video with the headsets. The one on Netflix, you know, they put the headsets on. Everything is headset conditioned. I mean, now you got these Google ID goggles. And then all over TikTok, you got the Ray-Ban glasses that are recording people and they don't even know it. So everything you're doing is being uploaded, you know, to the net, the Internet of Things. So everybody's virtually already living on the internet. So you start going out. This generation, they don't really go out to bars, right? The younger generation don't really drink as much. They'll get high and throw on the headset and jump online right there in the comforts of their own home. You know what I mean? So their social aspect is everything's done online. NBA 2K, they at the park playing online, not the park down the street from your house. They're hanging out at rec centers online. You know what I mean? So everything's already geared and conditioned you to want to be online. And just like V-Bucks and everything else, you know, people aren't using cash in real life. They're buying clothes for their avatar online. You know what I mean? So again, everything is geared to that online, you know, realm. So essentially we living in the real world. What was that game the kids started out playing? And then everybody was playing it. They was building stuff, not Roblox, but the other one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah. But anyway, so you know, that's what they're building, their own worlds, their own habitats. You know what I mean? All the type of stuff. Now you can get skins. You can put skins on. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't got to dress up for Halloween in the real world, because you can dress up whoever you want to every day online. So again, it's going to be hard to resist that when you already have it embedded in your head, because it's patterns. You're doing it already over and over again. And then you hear these keywords and buzzwords. You start talking about, you know, the mark of the beast and neural chips. It sounds, you know, with that word, but all they're gonna do is dress it up and make it nice. You know what I mean?
What does the world look like if this goes from country to country, state to state, and people buy into it?
Well, if you look online right now, man, you look in the UK and a bunch of other places, they're not buying into it. You don't see it as much when they reshifted the algorithms on TikTok, but you used to see it. But they're over there rioting. They're not going for it, man. Quite a few places over there overseas, they already started to voice their opinions otherwise. But that's not something that's being promoted and talked about. So people are already standing up. People are already fighting back. They had some issues in Kyrgyzstan. They had some issues in a couple of other places. But they tried to implement, because the UK, they said if they didn't have, certain things identified by January 2026, that they couldn't go to work anymore. So it's happening in real time. It's just not happening in real time here in the US as of yet. Because everybody's too busy worried about teleworking or being an online sensation. So a lot of people are distracted by things that are going on. You look in Minnesota, they're talking about sending the National Guard out there. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on, man, that people ain't necessarily worried about those things. There's too many distractions going on.
Yeah, I think our priorities are all mixed up. And I hate that I even fell into it a little bit, like with the drama and the gossipy stuff and the celebrity stuff. Like I partook in it, the algorithm wants what the algorithm wants, but I'm like snapping back into reality. And I know like there's things that really need to be addressed and talked about that matter more. This was something that was really bothersome to me because my pastor, we have this conversation. We've spoken about this. We saw it coming. It's not like I just woke up to it. It's just that I decided to really start honing in and taking it serious. I'm trying to think. So hold on. Matter of fact, let me read this one. Is this a benefit to us or an invasion of privacy?
Man, it's both. Like I just said, and I'll send you some videos to look at, and then we can have we can follow up and have another conversation on it, because it's not the first time that Neuro Link has been around. And again, and the reason why I started out by saying is modern day miracles, because they said that it will be a time where you will see modern day miracles happening. And that's with Neuro Link, right? Now, you might not look at it or classify it as a miracle because, as you mentioned earlier, some people only relate miracles to, whether it was Jesus or somebody else that done it. But it just depends on what the definition of a miracle is, because of that person was said to never walk again. And now Neuralink taps in to those nerves and allows them the ability to walk again. Is that quote unquote a miracle? Yes or no? Right. So then if you say that the person could never hear again, Neuralink allowed them to hear, is that a miracle? They will never see again. It tapped in and now they can see. Is that a miracle? So these are definitions of words that people have been talking about, but seeing it in modern day age, and because it being Elon, so now they're Antichrist-like people that are walking around and doing things, and that's supposed to be identified as for people to be awake or awoke. So again, it just depends on perspective, and then your interpretation of the book, like you said earlier, depending on what you read and what you believe in. So it's all led up to interpretation on how your walk and your understanding and what your belief systems are.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say that he's Antichrist.
I said not that.
No. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but because he said that there will be Antichrist-like.
Yeah,
and I think you got to pay attention to that, because you can quote unquote say Trump is Antichrist-like, right? So you can say these people have the likeness or the resemblance of them, not necessarily one person, right? And then with Trump assembling this team, this peace team of 10 people that they just said, and they want $1 billion. They just announced that this morning. So again, a lot of things that are happening, so that you can, kind of put those things together and make your own assumptions, or just go back and, you're hungry for knowledge, here it is, eat it.
You said a few minutes ago that we're too distracted. How difficult do you think it would be to wean ourselves off of this stuff? You present the information, you have the conversation here, you see and know for yourself because you see it for yourself. Now what? How do you just you can't? I don't think anyone just automatically just stops being on social media every day, or they stop being compulsive, or what's the word, compliant to their addictions or vices.
Well, I mean, we say it all the time, you know, the dopamine and everything else that you get, you know, the adrenaline rush, the spikes, the highs, the lows from the likes, from the shares, the zero engagement, you know, the emotional attachment. New drug, right? That's what they say. So if you go cold turkey, then what happens? Because we had this conversation with Nicki Minaj when she shut down her account, and the effects of all the people that were following her that would go to social media to look to see what they're doing. Excuse me. And that's the thing, is everybody's going back to social media to look for something, that dopamine, that rush. What's going on? What's next? So you're already hooked. Everybody is. I mean, you're using social media to talk about something that you watched. You sent it to me. Now we're having a conversation about some shit we just watched. Essentially trying to monetize off of it and make a living. So I think you kind of answered your own question. But yeah, so again, I think we already are so caught up in it, especially the fact that we got computers, we got cell phones. You know what I mean? Everything we got is bringing us right back to this web, the Internet of Things, and it's taking us more and more away from the people that are actually, you know, in our environment. If even so, because most of the people nowadays are self-isolating and quote unquote say they don't need so many people in their circles. You notice that when you look at everybody's posts, I'm the new me. I don't need nobody around me. I ain't tolerating nobody's bullshit. It's just all about me. And they're sitting there by themselves, looking at everybody else online. So I would say it'd be kind of hard to wean people off of it. And that's where the issue will come into play, is you start to introduce something new, and then now everybody's sitting around waiting to try to get it. You know what I mean? Just like a new PS5, PS6, Xbox 720, 360, whatever you want to call them. The astronomical, you can't pay for them. Now only certain people got them, which is bullshit, because now if you got one and nobody else got it, why do you have it? You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it went. New PS5 came out, 4 people had it, everybody else had PS4s. Then the PS5 people had to go back to the PS4s until people can afford the PS5, or they can be bootleg, bought it, or you get that cheap bootleg Neuro Link, and you can only talk to 6 people versus 600 people. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's all about supply and demand.
Yeah, I still got a PS2. Yeah, I'm that old. I'm not spending $1,000 on no game console, bro. I'm not. That's crazy as shit. And then on top of that, you buy the PS5. That's 2 of your checks for the average working person. And then the next thing you know, they got a whole new system out.
Yeah, I mean, that's it right there, man. Between the iPhones, the watches, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. Everybody's running out to get the next one. So you think people ain't gonna run out and get the Neuralink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you brought up the modern miracle part, because I look at it like that. I mean, your response, like science and technology, is a part of the reason why people can see again, possibly, or they can hear. You know, you got those things you put in your ear, and like, so I'm not trying to shame or crap on all of it. Some stuff is just going too far, though. This is definitely going too far. The whole social credit thing, I'm glad we had that conversation, because I'm still on the fence about that. You telling me that these people in China, they're just willing to go along with this? Like, they get a score at the end of the day saying if they were a good person or not? and you can decide how their paycheck is going to be, how the quality of their living is going to be based on how they treated you or treated somebody else. And you're talking about putting a chip in someone's hand or in someone's brain. I can see why people are fighting against that. Don't seem like it here though.
Well, that's because all you Americans are spoiled, man. That's why when you go to other countries, they call you obnoxious and they don't want you around their shit. I mean, you just sat here and said, you trying to tell me I can't do. That's exactly what they tell you. That's why it's called a dictatorship, because you don't have that option. And that's what Americans, a lot of Americans don't understand and realize. Over here you got rights, you got amendments, you know what I mean? You got all that shit that you're supposed to give you the freedoms for. And that's, why they say proud to be an American. And you go over there, and I say over there loosely to any of the, the other countries, just using the one that you mentioned. That's why, they revamped TikTok. On TikTok, they were showing that all these bags that all these crazy ass celebrities and people out here endorsing and paying thousands and thousands of dollars for, and these clothes, these Jordans, these iPhones, they're making them for like $10 over there. And over here, they're selling it, 1,000% markup. And then silly Americans take pride in spending all their hard-earned money on some shit that they paid $10 to make. You know what I'm saying? The ideology for you to think that that's cool, that's something to do. They've been talking about building Nikes and sweatshops for years, and people made jokes about it and talked about it. And then now with technology, so you asked it good or bad, you can see those things and it can be exposed. You can see it's actually happening. But in other countries, that's what they do, versus over here, people can go to work, make $50,000, $60,000 a year and complain about it. McDonald's in other countries are delicacies. The shit's actually pretty good. Over here, you go to McDonald's, you might get slapped for asking for some hot fries. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In order to own a franchise at McDonald's, you had to at least work there, because you have to be able to, work the fries, work the front desk, work each position. So that way, you know how the inside of the company, inside and out. It's just to own a McDonald's, a franchise. But we don't think like that in America, right? Because who the hell wants to eat McDonald's? Who wants to work at McDonald's? And then all these other people are what they're doing. They're making franchises and building organizations. So it's the mindset of just being in America to be able to say they got the audacity, or they think I'm gonna do this. And that's one of the things that, people take for granted, is you even have the opportunity to speak like that. Like, you can't even watch. It's crazy, but that's another tangent. But just going back to the universal basic income, and that's something that they do as well, and that's why you don't have to worry about jobs in the future, because everybody will get a basic income allowance, based on what? Now that's what's what's left, to be desired, because they haven't put any criteria out there about how you actually get that income. But those are things that they're kicking around in the future as well.
You better start learning how to live off the land.
It's too late for that, man.
Yeah. I watched
part of the movie when we say it's fucked up. We should have been left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't it crazy though? Like, you got on a $200 pair of shoes, and these fools done bled, they done broke fingers and all type of shit to create the shoes that you wearing for 50 cents. And we over here with this entitled attitude and ego, as if we really went through something.
Everybody goes through something, but at some point, like you said, it's the entitlement piece,
which is why I believe a lot of people are going to invest in this shit. If they do decide to bring it over here, I think a lot of people are going to invest in it, just because that mindset you was talking about. like even though people know that they just spent way more on these shoes than they did, they still bought them. They still bought that bag, that shirt. It don't really matter. It's because we're taught that you wear certain stuff. That means that you are here. You made it. You're above this person. So is it really a dictatorship if that country is saying, look, you're not about to experiment on my people, versus over here where they'll probably be more than likely to say, oh, this is going to be good. Do what you want. But shit, even over here, if you didn't get the needle or get the shot for COVID, then you couldn't work. They said at first that you have the option, and then they said, nah, we need you to go ahead and do that if you want to stay here.
Well, that's the example I just gave with Real ID, and also Neuro Link coming in the future. It's always you get the option at first, but now you still have the option. You just, if you choose not, you just didn't also get to have a job, but you still have a choice.
Damn, man, you couldn't give me a better option.
Hey, look at Kyrie. Kyrie did it. He stood to his guns. No pun intended. And then they never came back out and apologized, but they came out and said that he was right in his decision and his stance. By not taking it. You know what I mean? And sticking true to it. But you know how it is, man. They're going to apply the pressure. Yeah, absolutely. You have the choice. Okay, now those that have chose that, these are now your new options.
Yeah.
you know,
I'm cool on it. I ain't doing it. I'm cool. Definitely send me those videos, man. I want to check those out because
yeah, I got you.
Y'all not about to mummify me and have me walking around here clucking like a chicken and shit. As like that's crazy, man. And some of these movies really be based on stuff that we think is a joke.
Yeah, so I think that's it, right? So, we kind of touch on this all the time. Is you got to unlearn, man. You got to unlearn stuff. It's cool to learn new stuff, but what happens, man? If you try to keep all that information, now you refer and reverting back to all the information that you obtaining, like in your storage. So you got to clean your storage out. If the information ain't useful, get rid of it. Stop retaining that information, because now that's when that self-sabotage kicks in. Because now you're arguing with yourself. You got two information or two data points that you're referencing back to. So one is null and void and it's not beneficial. Get rid of it. Unlearn that information. Unlearn those patterns and that behavior. Learn a new one that's conducive to who you are and your mindset, and then keep moving forward. Because if not, that's where that phrase come in: one step forward, two steps back. You know what I mean? So just my opinion.
Okay. Hey, look, it's here. At least it's on the table for those of you who are curious about it. If there's any more information I get, I'll post it, like community tabs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about your personal space. It's about having freedom still.
Yeah. It ain't looking like, well, you gotta look at right now, man. Like I said, you look at what's going on, and they're getting ready. They got the National Guard on standby, the Army. They didn't even say the National Guard, they just said the Army. about 1,200 troops to send over into Minneapolis. So if that happens, now you got a lot of other chatter going on out there about other things that can be happening, in the very near future. So, I mean, you just look at what's going on. That's what people are just distracted, man, because the one thing they are doing is they're putting that information out there. Now, what you do with that information is completely up to you. If you pivot and turn from that information to look at something else that's more entertaining, then that's your choice. Like you said, the algorithm is the algorithm. So whatever you choose to consume, you're going to consume, and the algorithm is going to make sure you overly overwhelmed with that consumption of that one topic that you're focusing on, and that's how you stay distracted, because it doesn't allow you a variety. You click on one thing, and now you're flooded with just that one information, and you're consumed with it. Because if it interests you, now you got new things of the same thing that's constantly consuming your interest over and over and over again. You're not thinking about anything else. So, yeah, it's a dangerous game messing with the algorithms. You definitely have to be careful with it, because you can get lost in that world.
Yeah, half my day is on social media. If I did a recall of my weekend, I'd say I spent maybe a total of, realistically, 5 to 6 hours offline out of a Saturday and Sunday.
You said offline?
Offline.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, you know what I'm saying? And right. I'll take breaks, but they don't be very long breaks.
Yeah.
Because I end up picking the phone right back up. Like when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is pick up the phone. I say thank you, God, but I pick the phone up.
Right. Yeah, and again, man, just identifying them patterns, man. You just said it right there, and so many people probably can relate to you. They roll over, and that phone is on a nightstand or underneath the pillow, and like you said, unlock, scroll, and that's dangerous. You know what I mean? And so I just try to tell people to kind of supplement that, and it's hard, man, because especially not a lot of people got landlines anymore. So, and then I don't know if you put your phone on Do Not Disturb. But if you do that, then I would say at least put the phone in the other room, because that way you're not going to check it. You're not getting any notifications because it's on Do Not Disturb. But if you don't do that, I would say at least do that a couple of hours out of the night to kind of start going into that direction. Crawl, walk, run. So crawl, put it on Do Not Disturb for at least a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then as you start getting comfortable with it, no notifications, anything going off, maybe leave it in another room while it's on Do Not Disturb. That way you don't also create separation anxiety between you and that device. So, but you got to do something else with your brain. And while you're doing something else with your brain, maybe throw some positive affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're doing that in the morning. Wake up and give yourself 3 positive affirmations instead of reaching for that phone. And don't say your affirmations are on the phone. You know what I'm saying? But figure out a way, especially with you, get that pen in your hand, man. Put that phone down, go pick that pen up and just doodle a little bit or something. You know what I mean? That way you get that brain thinking differently. Break up that repetition. Because you do got to give yourself a break, man. Especially if you're not getting that review at the end of the day, screen time. And if you are getting it and it don't bother you, then that's the issue too. So,
yeah. Well, look, bro. I sent somebody away on Threads, man, because they said they was looking for a mentor and whatnot. So I tagged you. I was like, you know what? Maybe bro can help you out. You know what I'm saying? Pay it forward, right?
For sure.
This was a good show. Appreciate you for being here this morning, and shout out to the people. Hope you guys have
good stuff.
Hope you guys have a blessed day. We got another one later on tonight. Make sure y'all tap in. You know what I'm saying? Same time, same place, 7 p.m. Eastern. Y'all enjoy y'all day. And do me a solid before y'all go.
What's the goddamn button?
Peace.
Please.
Mantra, slave songs, slave ship, rip skin, maybe rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired of the friend on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep, longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed.